Welcome to the Snagged Podcast. I'm Sarah Lizabeth, wedding mentor and educator. I created this podcast because after more than 20 years in the wedding industry and a lifetime of real life, I saw a gap that no checklist, timeline, or trend was filling. Planning a wedding is rarely about the wedding. It's about navigating expectations. It's about family dynamics, especially mothers and daughters. It's about learning how to make decisions together. It's about protecting your relationship while the pressure is loud. And it's about becoming someone new in the process. I've walked with couples through beautiful moments and really hard ones. I've watched joy and stress exist side by side, and I've lived enough life to know that the snags, the unexpected moments, the tension, the pauses are often where the most meaningful growth happens. This podcast exists to slow things down, to offer honest guidance around wedding planning, marriage, family, faith, and the season of life that shapes us. I'm not here to give you more advice. I'm here to mentor you through this season with clarity, compassion, and perspective. So let's step into today's episode together. Welcome back to the Snagged Podcast. If this is your first time here, I'm really glad you found your way into this space. And if you've been walking with me since the beginning, thank you so much for staying. I want to start this new season 2 of the Snagged Podcast a little differently. And y'all, I know I'm a little late to the party this year. I have been working on things that I believe I have been given to share with you. And I am so excited about those. So they have been taking a little bit of my attention, but I'm not going to start this season with announcements. I'm not going to tell you what's coming next, but I'm going to start it with a pause. Because if there's one thing that I've learned in weddings, in marriage, and in life, it's that the most important seasons, they don't need to be rushed into. They need to be entered with intention. This podcast exists because life and love are rarely smooth. There are snags, unexpected moments, tension that you didn't plan for, conversations you didn't know you needed to have. And this season of the podcast is about what those snags actually teach us if we're willing to slow down and listen. I didn't create the Snagged Podcast because I had everything figured out. Okay? I created it because I didn't. After more than 20 years in the wedding industry and a lifetime of real life, I realized something very important. People don't need more information. They need wise championship. They need someone who will tell the truth gently. Someone who isn't afraid to talk about what didn't go as planned. Someone who knows that growth usually comes through the detours, not the straight lines. I've walked through seasons that have reshaped me. Seasons where I thought things would turn out one way and they didn't. Seasons of rebuilding, relearning, and re-anchoring my life. And what I know is this: the snags didn't disqualify me. They formed me. They taught me humility. They taught me compassion. They taught me how to sit with people instead of trying to fix them. And that's what this podcast is built on. Not perfection, not performance, but presence. Season 2 exists because there's more depth to explore and more honesty to hold, more growth to walk through, and we get to do that together. I've watched couples and families and individuals come undone in seasons they thought would be joyful. And I've watched others find peace in seasons they thought would break them. The difference was never circumstance. It was always perspective. The people who grew weren't the ones who avoided the difficult things. They were the ones who learned how to stay present inside of it. They didn't rush past the snag. They didn't pretend it wasn't there. They didn't harden themselves against it. They learned from it. That's the kind of growth we're learning in this season together. If you're planning a wedding right now and it feels heavier than you expected, I want you to hear this. You're not behind, and you're not doing it wrong. I created the Wedding Mentor for couples who want guidance through wedding planning that feels steady, grounded, and supportive, not overwhelming. Inside the mentorship, I help couples slow the process down, clarify what truly matters, and navigate decisions, boundaries, and expectations with confidence and care. This isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters with intention and peace. If you want support through this season, you can learn more at theweddingmentor.co. Now, let's get back to the episode. Here's the first truth that I want to anchor season 2 in. Snags are not interruptions. They're invitations. They invite us to slow down, to ask better questions, to examine what really matters. We often treat difficulty as something that we need to get past as quick as possible. But some things are meant to be walked through, not rushed around. The snag is often where the clarity shows up, if we're willing to stay. Truth number 2 is that growth usually comes through honesty, not control. Growth doesn't come from managing appearances. It comes from honesty. Honesty about what's working. Honesty about what's not. Honesty about where we need help. Control compromises safety, but it rarely delivers peace. Honesty opens the door to healing. And this season will be honest. Not heavy, not dramatic, but real. Because real is where change happens. Truth number 3 is that mentorship matters most in the middle, not the milestone. The third truth is the heartbeat of this podcast. Mentorship matters most in the middle, not at the engagement announcement, not on the wedding day, not at the highlight reel moments, but the in-between. In the questions, in the tensions, in the uncertainty. This podcast exists to meet you there, not to rush you forward, but to walk with you. If you're listening to this and you find yourself in the middle of something, planning a wedding, navigating family dynamics, rebuilding after disappointment, or simply becoming someone new, I want you to know you're in the right place. This season of the Snagged Podcast is here to offer perspective, not pressure. And if you want deeper guidance through wedding planning, relationships, and life's transitions, you can explore theweddingmentor.co. If you want quiet, thoughtful reflections each week, I write love letters that are always open to you. As we step into season 2 together, here's what I want to leave with you. The snags don't mean you're off course. They often mean you're being formed. I'm Sarah Lizabeth, wedding mentor and educator. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you for spending time with me today. If this episode resonated with you, I'd love for you to follow or subscribe to this podcast. It will help more people find these conversations. And if you know someone who's planning a wedding or navigating a meaningful season of life, feel free to share this episode with them. If you'd like continued guidance, you can explore theweddingmentor.co or join my love letters, which are weekly reflections on weddings, relationships, faith, and life. I'm Sarah Lizabeth. Be gentle to yourself. Be honest, and remember, Meaningful things don't need to be hurried. I'll see you next time.